Whole Story Quest Audiobooks presents Perdition by Pete Brassett, narrated by Neil Macgillivray. Prologue. Often described as an affable and somewhat altruistic individual, James Munro, on the cusp of retirement after nearly 40 years of active service, was willing to tolerate most things in life, apart from cyclists who deemed themselves exempt from the regulations of the highway code, those who consumed fetid fast food on public transport, and the ear-splitting screech of a chop saw as the team of carpenters who'd arrived at 6 a.m. set about replacing the fire-damaged roof timbers, joists, and floorboards in the kitchen and guest bedroom to the rear of his house. Alone in the lounge, with his patience wearing thin, he took a deep breath, ran his fingers through his thinning grey hair, and, wary he'd be held responsible for the village's first-ever sugar shortage as a result of repeated requests for mugs of sweet tea, reached for his coat, tucked 2 bars of Kendal mint cake into his pocket, and headed for Criffel, where, despite the light cloud, the unfettered view from the summit towards the Lake District was as rewarding as ever. Saddled with the prospect of sharing his house with a battalion of builders for the foreseeable future, and with it the unavoidable disruption to his daily routine, he contemplated returning to Skye for a relaxing break, before deciding on the much shorter and altogether less taxing trip to Ayr, where, upon retrieving his belongings from the office, he would, somewhat reluctantly, discuss the topic of his imminent retirement with DCI George Eliot. Resigned to the fact that Munro's long-awaited departure was now in the bag, leaving her without the safety net she'd come to rely upon, a sullen-faced West, looking more like a cat burglar in her tight black polo neck and matching jeans than a salaried police officer, pinned her tumbling locks atop her head and pulled up a chair, the initial findings of the post-mortem in one hand and a double bacon butty in the other. "Have you read this?" she said, wiping a dollop of brown sauce from her lips. "Aye, miss," said Dougal, as he sifted through the victim's belongings.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?